So today I'm going to show you how I'm going to put my spring bulbs to bed and encourage them to give me the most bountiful blooms next spring. There's two items that are important. The first is your bone meal. Its composition is a little different than your normal flowering fertilizer. Fertilizers are made up of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Bone meal is phosphorus and calcium. It has a little tiny bit of nitrogen, but phosphorus is what is helping your bulbs to rejuvenate, re-energize, and then bone meal also has calcium, which is very important for bulbs. Read the directions on your package because you don't want to over fertilize your bulbs because you will kill them, and also you don't want the fertilizer to physically touch the bulb because that will also kill them. So this particular package says I have several options, and the one that really applies to me is the one that says use 1/2 teaspoon per plant and backfill with the soil. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to break up the soil around each of my hyacinth plants. Now remember, you put bone meal on hyacinth, daffodils, Easter lilies, tulips, crocuses. Crocuses really don't need a lot of fertilizer. They'll just rejuvenate themselves every year. But hyacinths and tulips really do need fertilizer if you want to continue to get blooms from them. So I'm going to open up my bone meal and I'm going to put my scoop in here, get a 1/2 teaspoon, and around each plant I'm just going to dollop it around like that, and then I'm going to come back and mix it in with my fork. That way I can be sure that it doesn't touch the bulb and I get exactly what I need around the plant. And I am going to pour a little bit of water on it just to get that fertilizer. And this is just straight water, tap water, because I just want to get that fertilizer to soak in. And I'm going to do another plant back here. You can see we've already loosened up the soil. I actually have 3, so I'm going to do 3 dippings here. Let's take a 1/2 teaspoon. We'll put it around this one. Another 1/2 teaspoon. We'll put it around this little one here. And then another one around the side of this one. Be sure that one gets its fair share. And now I'm going to go back. This time I'm going to use my little weed puller to be sure, because I want to get it in for the individual plant. And since I have 3 close to each other, so I'm just working the fertilizer in around the plant. The next important thing that you need to do is cut away the dead flowering stalk. To leave these on will cause the stalk to go to seed, and what we want to do is have these leaves capture as much energy as possible, sending the energy into the bulb. So we don't want the plant diverting its energy into producing seeds. We want it diverting energy into the bulb. So I'm just going to clip real close down here. Now some people like to tie this off. In this flower bed in particular, the spikes look real nice. So as these leaves start to turn yellow and die back, I will come out and I will tie them back like this. I'll just take and bend them over and just tie them with a rubber band or something, kind of down like that. But I'm not going to do that today because I want them out and exposed absorbing the energy from the sun. But I do want to get these dead stalks off of them. And so that's what we're going to do. It's important that you clip it as close to the base as you can, because remember, we're wanting to get the energy to go into the bulb and not into the flowering stalk, creating a seed. See, now if this plant was a little higher, I would bend it over and tie this back. Like, I will just go ahead and do that now. I'm just going to take a rubber band, excuse my foot. Okay, I'm just going to take, and I'm going to just bend these over, tie this off, so that doesn't show. That way it kind of stays out of sight, and it will just continue to die back. I don't want to cut it off because the plant is still collecting energy. There's one more item I want to mention about bone meal fertilizer. Animals like to eat the bone meal, and they will go for your bulbs. So the whole point of scattering the bone meal on the surface and raking it in a little bit and wetting it keeps it disperses it. It keeps the attraction of the animals from going for your bulbs. In other words, if I was to dig a hole like this and try and put the fertilizer down in there so it got closer to the bulb, what I'd end up doing is encouraging the animals to go for my bulbs. So this is just bone meal. It doesn't really happen with your other fertilizers. There is one other thing I wanted to mention about fertilizers. Bone meal is really the best for bulbs, for spring bulbs. It really has. It's packed with the phosphorus and calcium. But you can use fertilizer that has the composition of 10-10-10 or 5-10-10. But you really have to be careful and look for that composition. You can't just go buy a fertilizer and just assume it is that particular breakdown, because most fertilizers are 5-15-5. 10-10-10 is specific, and you'd really have to be sure that's what you're getting. Thanks for joining me today on Lazy Daisy Lane. I have provided the links below of the products that I've used today. Enjoy your gardening the rest of the spring and for the summer.